Okay, this is 12-4 day 2. It's a lot of the same ideas of 12-4. We're just looking at something different. So we spent a lot of time in class discussing this expression. First, we talked about why this isn't in simplest form, and everybody pretty much picked up there's square roots in the denominator, so that doesn't work out. And then we came up with as many ideas as we could to figure out how to get them out. And we tested the ideas. One of the most common ideas was to multiply it by itself. So they multiplied top and bottom. They said you needed to do it to both because you need to multiply by 1, so you're not changing it. We couldn't just multiply by one thing. So we need to multiply top and bottom by the same thing. And if you multiply that out, if you multiply the binomial out, root 8 minus root 3 multiplied by root 8 minus root 3, and you do all your work, what you'll see that you'll get is you will get 11 minus 2 root 24 or 4 root 6, depending how you're doing it. And so what you'll see is you still have a square root down there, so it didn't help us all the way. And again, we looked into this more deeply in class, and what we found and we came up with that worked was, if I can move this, was to multiply by almost the same thing, except there was an addition here. And what we saw, and the reason we chose that, is when we multiplied this out, either with the area model or distributive model, those middle terms, which were the square roots, would cancel each other out when we added them. They'd add to be 0. So that's where this came from. So what we did is we multiplied top and bottom by the same thing, and these two are called the conjugate. So root 8 minus root 3 and root 8 plus root 3 are called conjugates of each other. So we multiplied that out, and just you can use your area model to get that, this long thing on the bottom. I left it like this on the top, and the reason for that is that when I simplified the denominator to 5, 35 and 5 can simplify to be 7, and I saw that. So now that I have this as simple as possible, I distributed the 7, and then I said, oh wait, I see a double in the square root of 8, I can simplify that. So 14 root 2 came from simplifying square root of 8, 7 root 8. Okay, so on the next slide, there's going to be 2 for you to try. So I'd like you to try those and push pause before checking. So push pause, try them, and then come back and check in. All right, over here, again, we're going to multiply by the conjugate. You'll see what I got when I multiplied that out. Combine the like terms in the denominator. I saw the 28 and 2 simplify to be 14, and in the end, I distributed the 14. Down at the bottom, same idea, multiplied by the conjugate. So in this one, it was subtraction, so over here, it's addition. Again, I multiplied it out and got to this answer here. Over here, the root 8 became 2 root 2 in that it simplified. We also talked in class about when to use the conjugate, because we've talked about times if this was just 14 over the square root of 15, I would just multiply top and bottom by the root 15. And what we determined was we were going to use the conjugate when we saw addition and subtraction with the square roots. That was why we needed a conjugate versus the way we were doing it before. All right, on the next slide, again, in class, we spent a lot more time in the discussion. This one, commonly, people will change their mind now and say, let's multiply top and bottom by the square root of 5, since that's the only really part of this expression that's getting us into trouble, we'll say. Well, if you multiply the bottom by the square root of 5, you're getting 4 root 5 minus 5. So you didn't get rid of the square root, you just moved it. So again, we are going to multiply it by the conjugate. So instead of 4 minus root 5, we're going to have 4 plus root 5. So you're going to multiply by the conjugate. Okay, and again, this is just, you can use your area model or whatever to multiply that out. 45 and 11 cannot simplify, so I just distributed the 45 through the numerator and left it over 11. So please push pause and try the last one. Okay. Again, I used the conjugate because I saw a square root and I saw addition or subtraction. I multiplied out. I saw 36 and negative 6 can simplify, and then I distributed the negative 6. So this is the end of 12-4 day 2, and check Canvas for what you need to do next.